thinking of the next move, either to appeal or to pay.
Okay, so Accra, in case you're not aware, CAF is owing Kobby Spiky Nkrumah, our very own fellow Ghanaian, 250,000 Joe Biden Kamala Harris dollars, and they haven't yet paid him. So I'm just following up on the back because you were on Artsy and you divulged some information about that whole court case to Diego and I. And yes, I would encourage you, Accra, please go back and watch our videos on Facebook, Artsy. Yes. But anyway, don't worry, the money will come, okay?
Oh, it definitely will.
Bye. So in case you're just tuning in, this is Asaase Accra 99.5. You're listening to Between Hours with Keely-Jade Brewer, and we're talking about the intersection of tech and gaming and exploring some of the latest trends, innovations, and benefits of leveraging technology in the gaming industry. This fine gentleman is the group head at EIB Digital and the CEO of Control IT. Anyway, how are you doing? I had to ask about the money first, but how are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good. Yeah, I can tell you're good as well.
Yeah, I'm doing just fine. So let's jump right into it. How would you say the gaming industry has evolved into a significant source of income for young people so far?
Well, it has indeed evolved. I mean, if you look at the young people right now, I've had parents reach out to me telling me my child says they want to be a streamer. And what is a streamer? You know, I've had parents say their kids say they want to go into esports, they want to be sim racers, they want to play competitively, and they're using terms like BR, they're using terms, and the parents don't get it. And what they don't realize is just as some generations ago, kids wanted to be footballers, now you have kids wanting to play games for a living, you know, play video games and earn a living from them. If they're not playing competitively on the global scale, they want to be playing in their bedrooms and showing off what they're playing to their friends and to their fans to follow. And we've seen success stories, you know, there are people out there doing this already. And if I knew this would have happened, I would have taken my gameplay quite seriously.
Honestly, same. I've been watching my younger sister, her friends, and some of the YouTubers that they watch. I was saying that early in the show. And Charlie, the kind of bank that they're making, I feel sorry for the doctors, lawyers, and nurses because Charlie. Almost 12 years in med school, come out, and then these people are making overnight cash.
Yep.
And you are sitting there with your degree feeling like, But it's fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that if that's your passion. But Charlie, me, I like money. Anyway, what are some of the primary ways that gamers can generate money today? Because some people, to them, gaming is an abstract concept. They feel like you're sitting behind a computer or behind a console and a TV, and you're just pressing buttons and shooting a few people in Call of Duty or building something on Fortnite or Roblox or whatever. But how can they make revenue from that?
So just as I mentioned, streaming, number one, i.e. playing a video game and streaming it on YouTube, on Facebook or Twitch or any streaming platform, and then getting revenue from that because of the views. So we all know YouTube, you know, people make money from YouTube when you stream or you upload your videos. So you don't even have to be a professional player. And by that I mean you don't have to be exceptionally good. You could be exceptionally bad and people would actually watch you suffer at the game. And there's a guy on YouTube who's been playing with electricity. You know, he's been playing with gadgets, and sometimes he's trying to create a circuit, and it electrocutes him, or you know, things go bad, and people watch him. He's not actually achieving anything except electrocuting or him making mistakes, and people watch him to get gags out of it. So you can imagine someone playing a game being terrible at it, and people are just watching and like screaming out of frustration, like, you should jump here, you know. And so it's good because it's entertainment. You know, somebody could be watching either to learn how you beat a certain level, because walkthroughs are a thing. Someone's been playing the game and they get stuck at a level and they're like, how do I beat this level? And so they go and watch someone who's actually played it and uploaded a walkthrough. You could upload your gameplay because maybe you did some crazy combo nobody has ever been able to do, and luckily you recorded it, so you uploaded. Or maybe if you're playing PUBG or COD, like you mentioned, Call of Duty, and you had the highest number of kills that you think none of your friends has probably ever had, or you had some crazy kills, you can upload that as well, and people would watch it. I watched two old geezers that I watch, an old man and an old woman. I forget the gamer tags on YouTube, and the woman is such a good sniper.
Oh.
And she's actually very mature. I think she's in her late 50s. And I think she's called Grandma Gamer or something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
And she's so, and you know, like whenever she kills someone, the faces she makes, the comments she makes, it's just funny. And I imagine that's like my mom playing and kicking my butt at this game. That would really suck. Imagine how you're young and you're supposed to have faster reflexes, and then a grandma is kicking your butt, you know, handing your butt to you. So that's content people are watching, and people are earning money from that. And sometimes it's just even just reviewing the game. The game just came out. You're talking about the features and stuff. You do all that. You're getting views. And then there's playing competitively, where you probably heard the news about how some players have gone to play Fortnite and won millions of dollars. So, you know, there's a huge pot prize. And at the end of the competition, the best player, or the one who stands tall, takes all the money. And I think some years ago, there was a 14-year-old kid who won millions of dollars. I can't remember the exact figure. And it was such a touching story, because when they asked him, he said he was going to buy a house for his mom. that was awesome.
I feel like I saw that on Instagram. Yeah.
So these are ways that people can make money. And when you do build a community, then you can start to sell merch. You know, you create your own merchandise, your T-shirts, your hoodies, even customized controllers. You know, somebody might think that, hey, if I use your controller, for instance, that could make me win the game as good as... I mean, look at what Jordan was doing with his sneakers. People would buy Jordans thinking that could make them jump higher.
Yeah,
you know,
actually.
But really, it's whether you can jump or you can't jump.
Or they thought that if you wear, you become as tall as him with time.
Yeah.
My, oh my. So what I'm getting from you is that it's not just about the gameplay. Is there... Well, before I even break down the segments, I'm curious, are there any games that you could directly make money from as you play them? Or is it that the gameplay on its own is just bland, it's just you enjoying the experience, but then you have to add on things to it to be able to make money from it?
So people have tried making games that you actually make real life money from, but I'll tell you something, it's easy to lose money as a game developer from that, because mind you, there are bad players in the system as well. Somebody might find a way to automate the system to just play for him and make all the money, and it wouldn't be fair to all the other players. And there's some games that people play on their phones that promise them some cash if you keep playing, and that's because you'll be seeing ads as you play, and they're getting money from the ads that you play, because there has to be a value chain for a business. If a business is making a game for people to play to earn real money, that business also has to be making money some way. And so if there's no direct value chain where the business is making money, you should be worried that probably you are the product. They're selling something from you. Maybe they're selling your data to someone to make that money, and then they're giving you chicken change in return, like, hey, here's something for playing our game.
Yeah, here's a little $20, $50.
When they probably made $1,000. So you should be very careful when someone promises you money for playing their game, when there's no direct correlation between the gameplay and the money they're earning to give you some. So you have to think about it, like, how are they making money to give me money? We understand how YouTube makes money. They show ads, or people pay for premium subscriptions on YouTube, and so they make money. But then out of that, they have a sharing agreement with you. Hey, we'll take 30, you take 70 for the content that you create. And it goes on and on and on. But in the case where someone tells you, play the game, I'll give you money. How are they making money? Either they're showing you ads, and they're making money from the ads, and they're giving you a share, or they're selling your data.
And then also the in-app purchases. I realized that with Call of Duty, there was this time, it was around 3 a.m., and my sister was just blazing guns, and her AirPods were always on the highest volume because she can't hear. I don't know whether she grew up by the seaside, but she can't hear. And it was so crazy how she woke me up. I was already awake anyway, but she nudged me. She's like, can I use your card? I want to buy this skin. And I'm looking at her like, I will strangle you. It's 3 a.m. These in-app purchases, how does it benefit the gamers? Does it enhance their gameplay in a way that helps them make their videos more attractive?
Yeah, some of them actually do. So the skin, for instance, she wants to look good in her game.
Madam, it's a game. It's not real life.
You see, that's the thing. The lines have been blurred so much right now between the game world and the real world, that people actually spend money. I say people like I'm not guilty of the same same sin. I've spent money in games.
Don't spend the calf money on skins. I'll be so upset.
No, not on skins.
Okay, good.
But yeah, I now you're guilt tripping me. People spend money in games either to look good, because when you're in the lobby, you want people to be like, "Hey, who's that?" And it feels good when you kill someone and there's a different animation to the regular death. It's the other people, the basic deaths are so basic. They're mid. You want top tier death. You want to show people that death can look cool. And you want some awesome looking guns and stuff. So people spend this kind of money. And even the celebrations, it all adds to the content. It all adds to the experience. And when you think about it, when you go into, say, streaming, and you have some of these awesome skins, guns, animations and stuff, it makes your content look even better. And so imagine that after you've got this interesting animation or interesting celebration and you kill someone and you do the celebration, you upload it, it can tie into the content creation process. Take, for instance, footballers, when they score a goal, they all have their unique celebrations.
Yeah.
And it adds to the whole viewing pleasure. Same thing. So
it's the value proposition for me. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. But anyway, as I was saying earlier, what I'm getting from you is that the ways to make money would be first to package yourself and to find your niche. And then after that, you can start developing merchandise. You can go into streaming and start making streaming money as well. And then collaborations as well. Okay, so let's talk about those who are game developers, indie game developers. I feel that they struggle because they're already games that have been established over time with big companies. But then there are some indie developers who have a community and are being supported. So let's say that there's an indie game developer here in Ghana. What would you say they can do to monetize their games through the app stores and then online markets?
It's interesting you asked this question. And I actually did an esports documentary for the BBC a couple of weeks ago, and I had the opportunity of talking to some of these indie game developers across the continent. And it's interesting that the whole thing is now some of these big game studios are trying to even connect with these developers. So you have a studio like, I can't believe Letty Arts, yes.
Okay.
Letty Arts in Ghana, who were creative consultants for Electronic Arts to create characters in a game called Valorant. So there's actually a character in Valorant who says Chale and Kwasia and stuff like that, and it's awesome. And they built that character to be Ghanaian, so it's good that indie game developers create their own stuff because it also draws attention to them from the big studios. So maybe a big studio, because they don't want to represent the culture wrongly. We've come a long way from people misrepresenting our culture, from people wrongly spelling our names in games. I remember in the early days of FIFA and Pro Evolution Soccer, if you're old like me, it's ISS Pro, where the local players didn't have their names spelled right. Sometimes we had to go and rename them. Sometimes, and it didn't make us enjoy the game like those in the West who had all their characters looking even closer to reality. So now these big studios are realizing that because of where the world is going, we need to consult those who are actually in the ecosystem or in these countries who can actually help us tell these stories better. And so indie developers are better positioned to benefit from these partnerships, in as much as they also can develop their own games. As with everything, it's an uphill task because you're fighting against bigger corporations. So whatever your proposition is, or whatever your your product is, there must be that unique selling point that makes people choose it over all the bigger products that are out there. And I think that's where the challenge really is for them. But it's not impossible. You know, I think if our indie developers created games that told some of our stories, and parents really wanted their kids to know the history. I mean, as you started my story with Cav, my beat was called Okomfo Anoche.
Yeah.
Imagine a game about Okomfo Anoche, you know, navigating through the story. It doesn't necessarily have to be an action game. It could be a puzzle game. It could be any kind of game that could even help learning. And so finding something like that, creating a product like that could help you appeal to a certain audience and then eventually grow into a bigger studio or be acquired or partner with a bigger studio. So I think really the indie studios in these parts, they're doing well as it stands. If you look at Letty Art's games, it's very, very indigenous. Their characters are African. The soundtracks are African. Yours truly composed up a couple for them.
Okay. Get in.
Yeah. And it makes it, you know, something that you really will be proud of when you play it or when you engage with people who are playing it. And yeah, I really believe in the indie developers in our parts.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I wish them all the very best because they're one of the big hustlers out there. It's not easy to sit back and code and tweak and code, and then your code is not running. You go back and realize that it's just one pesky comma holding you back from becoming a billionaire.
Why are you telling my story? I've been there.
It's super painful. But let's talk about ethical considerations for when it comes to, before even the gamers, the game developers. What are some ethical challenges that arise from trying to monetize gaming?
Yeah, this for the developers, that's a big deal because data, you know, data privacy, protecting your users and everything. Sometimes you could make more money by, you know, basically getting the data of your people or your players, but that also is unethical. There's a certain amount of data you can take from people, you know. And if I want to build a profile on every single player, that could help me as a developer know more about what I want to do for my next release. But then, is that ethical? Taking all that data, would it be good for my users to find out tomorrow that, oh, I know what time they slept last night because we're playing my game, you know, and I know who they played with. I know how many times they played with that person. Essentially, all that data coming together helps me build a complete profile about that person. Not to say it's not happening. It's happening, but is it ethical? Because if somebody does get their hands on that data, they could do anything with it.
Yeah, they could figure out your sleep pattern.
Exactly.
They could figure out your location as well, because
Even
some games do location tracking. Yeah, and your money.
Your money, yes. Because if I know how much money you spend monthly on a game, I know you've got some money in your bank account. If I'm going to hack anyone, it's you. I'm not going to hack the person who's grinding, you know, cutting trees in the forest to make $100 in game and goes to buy something. I'm going for the person who just sees there's a new skin. Oh yeah, swipe.
But yes, so how can they navigate some of these potential risks? Because for gamers themselves, they put themselves at risk by divulging their data. But then also, they can equally be part of the problem by exploiting their streamers. And sometimes even with gaming, with the streaming, it gets toxic. The comment section can get super toxic. Why are you taking deep sighs? What they do to you, Kobby?
Oh, not me.
Okay, what happened? I'm listening.
No, it's very, very toxic in the game world, you know, and in engaging with some of these gamers who are better than I am, and they play these things for a living. Those who actually, I'm a strategic partner for an esports team in Ghana called Play Province.
Okay.
So, you know, we've got a team of gamers for every single game, and because of diversity and inclusion, we have females as well. So I like to find out how they react or how they feel when they play against the males and they beat them. And sometimes, oh my goodness, like imagine you beating a guy and then coming back to the lobby and he finds out that you're a girl and he just berates and insults you and is just terrible.
Yeah.
Just because you're a girl, and they can't believe that they got beat by a girl, you know? So that toxicity exists in game. And so, I mean, the hope is that there'll be better moderation systems to help protect gamers. Because how many people have thick skin to go through some of the hurtful things some of these people say? And even playing from Africa, you can get very, very insulted by some gamers because they think, you know, why are you playing from your tree?
Yeah, I heard that. Are you playing from your tree? What's going on? Even with this Indian gamer, Gulab Jamun, my sister was watching one of his videos and someone came to ask him a very disparaging question about curry. I'm like, why are you even asking these questions in the first place? That's highly racist.
Yep.
But I guess they do it to get into the person's head to
So
make
they can
them
beat them,
lose.
yeah. That's the whole idea. And that's bad because psychologically, somebody would argue that it happens on every other sport. But is it right, really?
Yeah, it's not right.
It's not.
Look at Vinicius. He's not a happy person right now because of what he's facing.
Yeah. So I think that, you know, all these platforms should create better moderation tools to help these gamers protect themselves and protect their mental health. Because there was this gamer, I can't remember his name. I have terrible memory with names. He was a Ghanaian, but he was in the UK. He ended up committing suicide.
Oh,
at
no.
a point, years ago. And he was a streamer. You know, he was doing very well, but we don't know for sure what really happened, but he just kept going downhill at a point till he finally committed suicide.
Aww.
So these are things that we really need to take into consideration. Parents whose kids are playing games need to be sure that your kids are not being abused, you know, and it's not affecting them mentally and causing them to maybe have doubts about even their person, you know. So it's important.
Yeah, also, let's talk about online safety when it comes to gaming and streaming, because someone can connect to Discord and they're having a conversation with some random person, maybe a guy who's in a female skin, pretending to be a female.
Yep.
And then they give out personal information like their location, their address, sometimes even their credit card information.
That is apt. That is very true. Tell you a funny incident that happened. So one of my clients' sons plays online a lot. And he's always on Discord talking to other players. And so one day his dad called me and said, I need you to come to my house right now. So I get there and he's like, my son has been playing games with these people, and someone actually asked him to give him his dad's credit card information. Mind you, this kid had munched all the numbers on his dad's credit card. Yeah, he knew the numbers off head, and he just mentioned it. And the guy was like, okay, so he needs the 3 pins he can, you know. So, and it was bad. That's how bad it was. Like, I didn't realize how much space, how much capacity kids have in there to store things.
Question is, did he know his dad's CVC? Did he know that?
No, so that's the only thing that he didn't know that he needed as well. If he knew that would have been bad news for his dad.
His father would have sent him back to heaven, back to the factory where he came from, and he would have imported a new one because Charlie.
That's crazy.
Yeah, at that point, you need to go and meet God. Your father's credit card.
Yeah, and you know, the father thought once in a while he gives it to them to buy games for their PS5 and everything. And because they've been entering it, and you know, when you're using a controller, you just go, hits this, come there, hits that. So he'd memorized the number, and he just knew the number off head. And he actually didn't know this was a bad thing. He mentioned the number to me straight out of his head. Like, wow.
He thought he was helping.
Yeah,
how old is this child? Full disclosure.
Well, the time he was about 11.
Okay, he's a child.
Yeah.
He's only been here 11 years. But he needs to be held accountable for giving out his dad's credit card. But anyway. With esports, are there any or do any forms of regulation exist to ensure a level playing ground, to eliminate cheating? Do those things exist?
Yeah. So in some games like Call of Duty and PUBG and most of these battle royale style games, they have anti-cheating algorithms that detect if a player is cheating. I've been banned before because the system thought I was cheating.
What?
And I was like, why are you banning me? I lose more than I win. You know, unless maybe I'm playing 1v1 or something, and then I'm, you know, but yeah, I got banned for like 3 years. So I had to create another account. But I didn't play that game again. I switched to Call of Duty. But that's the thing. A lot of these games have these measures in place But it's an algorithm. It will get some right, it will get some wrong. Hence why I got banned. I've never used a hack in my life, but yeah, I got banned. But with the advent of artificial intelligence and machine learning, we're hoping that it's going to improve, because then these systems are able to, in real time or in more like faster, appreciate or analyze players' gameplay to notice if there's been a massive change, and you can tell from that, and it would help them calculate these algorithms better. So take, for instance, I know how fast you walk, and over time, maybe we're able to predict that if Keely would increase her speed, it will probably be maybe by a 5-step increase, or if she slows down, it's probably by a 2-step decrease. Then all of a sudden, she's increased by 50 steps. That's marginal. But that could be an explanation for that. Maybe she's wearing skating shoes, so she's moving faster. How do we analyze that? And by saying maybe she's wearing skating shoes, maybe somebody's playing with your account, and so they're better. But then certain things are dead giveaways, right? Like certain gameplay styles are just mere impossible.
Yeah, like you see someone do a backflip and pull out the RPG and start shakabulaing the whole squad. That's when you know that no. There's something extra involved.
I need to cut this. That was dope. Backflip and what? Shaka. Yeah, that is a dead giveaway. But somebody could have practiced that over time and achieved that. But then, if Keely pulls that after just playing the game for 3 days, that's sus.
Yeah,
that's
highly sus. But before we close up, I want to know, what are some skills that young gamers could focus on developing to maximize their income potential in the gaming industry? Because we've pretty much given you the blueprints. Step 1, be lucky. Step 2, have grace. Step 3, enter with your full chest. And then start playing the games. You can stream, put it out on YouTube and other platforms that monetize your content. Once it's out there and you start gaining notoriety, you can start creating your merchandise in the form of hoodies, t-shirts, tumblers, stickers, whatever it may be, controllers. You can get brand partnerships with how far you go with everything. But then, what skills would you actually need to sustain all of this? What do you need to use to hold a plan together?
Number one, for everything that anyone wants to do, it's consistency. That's one thing a lot of people fail with. If you're not consistent, you fall off. I mean, we're in an era where your attention, the competition for your attention is more than the attention of span of a housefly. Like, I don't remember the last post I engaged with on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, because that's how much content there is.
Yeah.
In a blink of an eye, there's 200,000 new content out there. So you're competing with all these people, and you decide to do it as and when. And this is something you want to do as a job, like something to earn income from. You have to be consistent. If you're consistent, the algorithm will favor you. You've seen some of these Instagram pages where they post the same video over and over again every single day.
Yeah.
Go watch the numbers. You notice some of them have broken the 1 million mark.
True. You know what? That makes me think about that one video. I don't know. It probably popped up on your For You page of a little Romanian gypsy boy singing Mad in Romania. Have you seen that video?
I've been avoiding TikTok like the plague.
Not even TikTok, Instagram.
Well, maybe then I should see that then.
Yeah, and then they had it on repeat. On repeat. And then people are breaking numbers. For example, right now, if you want your reel to go far, the audio you should use is Mamushi by Meg Thee Stallion and that one Korean guy, and automatically
you blow.
Watashi wa star, Yeah.
So yeah, consistency is very, very important. And they have to really learn about content creation, right? So if you want to stream, if you want to upload your gameplay and everything, it's content you're creating. Don't just dump and forget. Let there be an art to it. Let it be a science to it. Let it be intentionality to the whole thing. You're not just, hey, I played a game, I won, and then this. Come up with your own style. Come up with something that's going to make your audience know you for that. People should know you for this. People should be impressed by maybe that style, and it should be unique to you, right? And once that is once you've achieved that consistency and that uniqueness, there's no way you can really like fail. If you fail, then the bad luck that's following you.
Charlie, we'll take it up with Antoine. But anyway, Elvis has something to say. What's going on, Crystal?
So I just want to say something real quick, eh?
Yeah.
So you know what they say in the local parlance that when is that correct?
It's correct.
Yes.
Okay. So
wow, lingo to the Riazi. Come on. We love it.
So I'm actually listening to Kobby, right?
Yeah.
And I remember way back, that must have been in 2003.
3, yeah.
So should I be the one to tell the story?
You should.
So in my school, I don't know, the air quotes, right? He's my school son.
Oh, y'all went to the same school.
Yeah.
I'm learning things every day.
So he's my school son, and he's the one who hooked me up with a music production software.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's called Magix, right?
Magix
Studio, yeah, right. So they started producing music like kick by kick, snare, and all that. He's the first guy that got me that particular is the app we call it these days.
Yeah, app we call
execution file, and I'm like, what? At that time, see, you know what? You deserve everything that's happening to you right now.
Spiky for a reason.
All the good things happening for you right now. I'm proud. I'm really happy.
Thank you.
I like how you just breeze in to give him his flower. It's very wholesome. Not you blushing. His hairline is glistening. Like he's so mesmerized right now. But anyway, before we clock off, what advice would you give to young people looking to turn their passion for gaming into a sustainable, profitable career? You said consistency, but what else?
Yeah, consistency and uniqueness, identifying whatever makes you unique. And, we need to think global. I detest when people think, oh, I'm doing this for the local markets. The internet has really broken borders. So we're no longer Ghanaians or Africans. We're actually global citizens. So everything you're doing is going to be consumed by people the world over. And so just don't limit yourself to one geographical location. Think about the fact that there's billions of other people that could see your content. And imagine if you put out a video and 1 billion people see it. That bank.
You understand? That's the whole of China.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole of China. I mean, why not?
Straight. So yeah, that's pretty much what I think the youth should focus on now.
Right. Nice one. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure speaking to you. Kaf, give this man his money. Run him his check. Run him his check.
Yeah, we're waiting.
Or else we'll keep talking about it.
Straight.
Yes, straight. Thank you so much again. I've been speaking to Kobby Spiky Nkrumah. We've been talking about gaming. You can catch a rerun on our Facebook page, Asaase 99.5 on Facebook. Nana Kwesi sent in a message. He says, Kobby, I'm still your bro. Don't be a stranger, cry. Hey, this calf money. But yes, he's the group head at EIB Digital and the CEO at Control IT. It is about time that I sign off, but before I go, you need to stay refreshed and hydrated with Alkamin Natural Mineral Water. It's ozonated and passes through a 3-stage reverse osmosis and UV light process that makes it one of the waters that helps you stay hydrated. It's packaged in a variety of sizes and available in shops and supermarkets near you. And for bulk purchase and supply, you can contact Rock Care Beverages Limited on 023-033-3004. That's 023-033-3004. Catch our rerun on Asaase Radio's Facebook page once again, Asaase 99.5. It's time for the Rush Hour with Elvis Crystal. Why for Yapon? I'll be back here this evening for just 7 to 8 p.m. Make a listening appointment. Until